Hey guys, this video we're going to talk about creating personalized products. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate a non-personalized product and show you how it's different and show you what makes it personalized and how to actually get that set up for your campaign. So you obviously have a lot of designs that are personalized in your store. But as your store continues to grow and you add new designs, new products, and personalization can be part of that, just want to show you an easy way on how to do that. Okay, so what I'd like to do is just like to duplicate and figure out what I'm going to offer eventually. If I'm going to offer a black ladies tee, a black hoodie, a black unisex, a white unisex. So I usually tend to at least pick one of those and go ahead and just duplicate that. So I'm just going to pick this black ladies tee here. I'm going to copy this. And that should bring me to the main part of the page right here. And so again, I've said this is a non-personalized product. So we're going to go in here and edit this. And the first thing you're going to do is you're going to change the name, obviously, to your new product. So what you can see, this is under shirt type is where you can select non-personalized, manually personalized, and regular personalized products. This is a non-personalized, so when you select that, it's just on the campaign. You won't have to have a certain short code to put up the personalization. Okay, so when you do personalized shirts, you have to make sure that this is personalized. And if it doesn't say this, it will not activate that personalization on your campaign where people can actually go through and edit their and add in their personalization. So the first thing you want to do is under shirt type, click personalized. Now, why I like doing the same color, because I don't usually have to change the description or the color here for the first one, and I don't have to change the background image. Okay, so as you can see, we're going to delete that because this was probably copied from a personalized shirt. So we're going to just go ahead and delete that. Okay, so let's just say that you have a new design and you got the PSD from your designer. So that's one thing you're going to want to always have from a designer is a Photoshop file. And let's go over to the Photoshop file. Let's do the one that we're going to do. And let's see where that one is. Okay. Let's see this one. And that's the red one. I'm going to use the black version, so I just got to find it here. And let's see where that is. Okay, and maybe I don't have the black one in here. So what I'll do is I'm gonna open up and find the version of black, because on this particular design I use red, white, and black colors. So they each have their own different background, and it makes the design a little bit different. So I'm going to go ahead and open up the PSD here. So what I'll do is go into downloads and I'll find what these PSDs are. Let's see, it's not this one, it's going to be Park Elementary. Maybe I have it on my desktop. Okay, we'll just do it this way. I don't know where that exact folder is right now. I'm just going to go back here and I'll just download it from. I'll do this one here. So this is where I store my PSDs. And we'll do this one here. The white one. And we'll download this. That's the red one. And I think we'll finally get it here. There we go. Okay, so first thing you want to do is you're going to have your PSD. If you have different color versions, it's always good for them to put a background on so you can see exactly which one you're working with. Okay, so the important thing here is this is a 2800 by 3200 image size. The way you check that is this is what you want to tell your designer to do, is to 2800 by 3200 with a 200 DPI for t-shirts and apparel. Okay, so the first thing you're going to need to do is you're going to need to actually take this personalization out of it. So you want to make sure that whenever they do personalized products, that they put the personalization on its own layer so you can easily take the personalization, because we're going to build that inside the product. And also you got to make sure that the background is transparent, so you always want to take that off. Now the cool thing is you can save this, and I have it saved. You're just going to save this to your computer and upload it to your media library. So since I already have this saved, let's go back and do that. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to use this black one. So I'm going to now select the product image and the print text image. Okay. Before one of the last updates, you used to have to render this size down in Photoshop to a certain size that would actually fit on your background image. But now that we have added an automatic sizer to the product when building a personalized product, so really you can actually just put in the art file size that's here, and you can also put that in this here. So we're going to go ahead and select that and say we've already uploaded this to our media library. And so I think this is the black one. So this is a 2800 by 3200. And actually you can put that in both places now, which is cool because it saves you a lot of time. Before you used to have to render it down for each individual products. So for coffee mugs was a certain size, for t-shirts it was a certain size that you had to put in this product image just to fit on this background image here, okay? But now it comes with this sizer, and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. So we're going to refresh the preview, and you're going to see that it's a larger size. Okay, so what we're going to do is just hold Shift and bring this down to fit what's on our shirt. Okay, so you can kind of position it to right where it looks good. I like to try to use as much of the shirt as possible. And remember, now you don't see the personalization on here because we took it off, because we're going to build that up in here. And then obviously if this was on the black background, if you saved it like that, it wouldn't match this black color of the shirt. So that's why you want to have it as a transparent background. Okay, and so the next thing we'll want to do is you're going to want to go ahead and put in the personalization that you want. Remember, they'll be able to change it, but if you're trying to do a particular one, you can go ahead and do this. So I think with this one this was more like a baseball font, so I kind of geared this more towards like dads and grandpas and stuff like that. But and that's okay. So I'm gonna just do dad with this one. Okay. Now also you're gonna need to have your font from your designer, because you're gonna want to make sure you can upload that font into the product section so you can build it. Okay, so you can see in here my designer attached my fonts here that I was using on these particular designs. So I know right now that that's Ackroyd's font, and so all you do is just download that to your computer, and then when you start to build your product, I'll show you where you do that. So if all you would literally do is just go ahead and choose that font wherever you downloaded it, and upload it to your select fonts field right here. So as you continue to upload these fonts, they'll still stay saved, and you won't have to do it but just one time. Okay, so I know this one was called Ackroyd, so I'm going to select my font. Make sure most of your designs you'll need the text to align in the center. Sometimes, depending on what your design is, you can do left or right where it lines up. And this is where you kind of want to start building your fonts, and you may have to have a little bit of, this is going to take a few minutes in order just to get it just right on the shirt, and that way you know exactly what it looks good and you have enough room. So on this particular font, you go back to your you can go back to your Photoshop file, and what I like to do is find exactly what color. I take my color dropper tool here, and what I'll do is I'll just kind of go in here and just copy that hex code. If you don't have Photoshop, you can always do that in just about any other program like Canva or Paint. You can learn how to just get the exact color you need. So I'm going to go ahead and select my color. Okay, and now I need to have a width and a height for the personalization box that's going to fit the word dad in here. So I know usually with the shirts, any t-shirt or unisex shirt, I start with 330 And usually this is around 100 or so, just depending on your font. So let's just do 100 and see what it looks like, okay? So you can even see in this box here that you definitely have enough room so the font doesn't go up or down, but we want to make sure we have enough room on each side that in case someone enters a longer name, it will not go outside of this box. So let's hit the refresh button and let's find our text box here, okay? So you can see that on here, this is pretty good. I have this text box pretty much going to edge of your main image box, and that's what you want. You want to give as much room as you can in order for that particular text in here to have. So in case this was grandpa, we want to make sure that fits. So what I like to do is I like to type in longer names, and even if it's just a name, even if it's just, if you're doing just a regular name shirt or whatever your design calls for, type in longer possibilities to make sure that they fit. So this is why you spend a little bit of time doing this. You can kind of get a good view of how that's going to look here. And also you can see in grandpa, I've used a lowercase p. You know, I like to do L's and G's just to make sure that those particular fonts do not go outside of this text box, because if they do, then you're going to have a problem. It won't show up correctly. So you see how that G just makes it down here? You see how it just makes the G and it's touching the line? To me, that tells me I maybe have to go a little bit higher. So I'm going to go 120 on the height, okay? So I'll hit refresh preview. And now you can see that gives me a little bit more room to play with. And you can, this text box can touch up here as long as your text doesn't touch any of the other text. That's okay, all right? So this is what takes a little bit of time in order to get it right. So depending on your font and how you want it to look and the size of it, it looks like the, also I'm kind of happy. I'm actually going to put this in white because I think I remember having her change some of the designs because I didn't really like the black, the red on the black. So, and I'll show you something what she did to just so you guys can see it a little bit easier. So something that she did, and this is good to know too, is that in the original Photoshop file, the school colors were black and red. But as you can see, and for her to make that stand out, she put this white stroke around it, okay, around Dad. And you can see that she did that. If you go in Photoshop, you click the FX, you can see that she has a stroke around that. But the software will not pick up a stroke, any kind of stroke. It has to be one color. Unless the font actually has a natural stroke around it, then that's okay. So make sure you tell your designers, depending on, you want to make sure that if your text looks good on the color shirt. So for instance, this looks really good on black shirt. I said, wow, that's going to look great. But when you take off the stroke, it's kind of harder to read. Like a dark red on a black shirt, it's just a little bit harder to read. So keep that in mind, that your design, to make sure that it looks good. Because I would normally not use the red color on a black shirt unless I did have a stroke around it. So it's good that that kind of showed up, so you can make sure that you tell your designers to do that. Okay, so now with that, let's see. I want to make sure that make sure I've got this going here. All right, so we'll go back to this. Okay, so now you can use a second form of personalization. So this is where you would do that. So say this said a proud grandpa of 5 grandkids or something like that. So you can go ahead and you would just set up the second form of personalization. Let's do this. You always have to hit refresh when you change something here first before you hit the refresh here, or it will not show up. Okay. Okay, so if you have a second form of personalization, say this was just a number, whatever it is, you just kind of go through the exact same way that I showed you here on how to set this up. Okay, so this looks good to me. I like the way it looks. Everything, I tested the letters, it looks good, and so I'm going to save this. And then just a tip on how to save time. So you're building your products for the store. So you're going to go through and build all of your t-shirts. So let's say you want to go back and you want to add it a white t-shirt version, okay? What I would do is I would just build the one first. Oops, go back to products. I would just build the one first. Go ahead and copy that one. And even though you're going to be adding a white one, you only have to change a couple other things in here. So you would come up here and you would change the name to, ladies white tee. If you have it in your description, you would change it here. And then you obviously have to change it here in your color. The cool thing is, you already have your personalization set up correctly. So that's why I'd like to duplicate one already and just change the colors and the text wherever it is. And then you obviously want to change your background image. So we're going to come in here and go to, where was it? Women's tee. We're going to find the white one. Okay. Add that. And then obviously you got to change your design because your design is going to be a little bit different for white. Okay, so I believe I have the white in here somewhere. Let's see if I can find that. Okay, so here's the white version. So you're going to go ahead and insert your files here. And remember that this is the art file that Randy will get. So when they generate that personalization, it creates an image URL for them where they get it in the CSV that they can go through and now they can go through and print that. So I like to copy those right away. And then obviously you've got to change your font. So go ahead and hit refresh. And now we would probably have, I think, we're probably going to do our color black here. And hit refresh. Okay. So you only have to change a few things. Again, let's recap. You change the name of the color in the title and the name so you can find it when you add it to your campaign. If you have it in your description, change the color there. Change it under the color here. And you're going to upload a new background image. And then add the correct artwork. And then probably have to change the color of the font on the personalization. So you can go through now, you can do, if you have a red version, you can go through and do these. If you want to start with and if you want to move on to hoodies, I would just go ahead and keep duplicating these and then just simply changing the descriptions. And when you get into hoodies and other products, sometimes I will duplicate a product that is already a hoodie, so that way I don't have to go through and look and change descriptions. But that's up to you. And then as you do other color hoodies, you can just repeat this process over and over again. Okay, so that's how you set up a personalized product. I hope that helps, and I'll talk to you in the next video.